Welcome to the first official episode of the Hot Mess Roundtable. My name's Jordan, and I'm a hot mess because I'm a corporate stooge who works way too many hours, and I feel the constant societal pressure to be perfect in every aspect of my life.
My name's Amanda, and I'm a hot mess because I am a full-time working mom and wife just trying to figure out life.
And I'm Lauren, and I am a hot mess because I am an organized person living in a very disorganized world with a husband, 4 kids, and 3 dogs.
Okay, and most important thing for this week, what are we drinking, Lauren?
We are drinking a spicy gingerman, maybe a spicy ginger woman.
Oh, I like
given
that
the
better.
podcast. Yeah. It's vanilla vodka, hazelnut liqueur, butterscotch schnapps, and ginger beer.
Cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
Okay, first episode, brand new weekly podcast we're going to try to do. Maybe if we feel like we can be organized enough to do it, we'll see. So I think we just want to introduce ourselves a little bit to our audience of the 2 people that are going to listen to this and, just get to know us. And I think first thing I wanted to say, like the most important thing I want people to know is we're not professionals and we've never done any podcasting or anything like this ever.
No.
Nope. We're just friends that like to chat and thought maybe our chatting could benefit other women.
Yes.
Yeah, so internet, be nice to us. If we fuck this up, we're really sorry.
We will.
We'll get better.
We will mess
We
it
will.
up.
We
Just
absolutely
be prepared.
will.
We're totally going to mess up.
But we'll get better
Yes.
as
We will get
time
better.
goes on.
Yep.
We promise.
Practice.
Let's introduce ourselves.
Yeah. So I just want to talk a little bit about how we know each other. So the 3 of us women used to work together, and I no longer work, but the other 2 women still work together, and we have enjoyed getting to know each other and being around each other and just like supporting one another outside of the workplace, and decided to bring it to the podcast. So Amanda was friends with Jordan's mom for years before she ever
That's
even
right.
met Jordan.
Yep.
And then Jordan and myself, Lauren, we officially met in 2011 when we started working together, but figured out that we actually took dance lessons together when we were little girls. So it's a really
Isn't
small
that cute?
world.
That's awesome.
Yes.
At Sunshine.
Yeah, at
Sunshine Dance Academy in Springfield, Missouri. It was adorable.
Well, there's a video floating around somewhere, a VHS of us.
There is.
Of us both dancing together. So, we're going to do a little bit of a round table, and each of us are going to give a quick intro and share our hot mess story. Amanda, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. So I originally am from San Diego, California. My husband, Cliff, and I moved here to Missouri in 1999 after we got married because he wanted to move here before that, but I wouldn't move until we got married because I didn't want to get stuck somewhere.
Smart woman.
Yeah. But we moved in 99, and it's the best move we ever made. So we just, we've been married for 25 years, going on 26, and we've been dating for 32 years. So, yep, we're high school sweethearts.
I don't think I knew that. I love that.
Yeah, we started dating when I was 15. So,
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
wow.
yeah,
How old was he?
17.
Okay.
Yep. So we've got 3 kids. I have 2 daughters and a son, and 2 crazy dogs at home. That one, which we adopted, and we adopted her, and then one Cameron brought home the week after she graduated from high school and didn't tell us, but she's turned out to be the best dog ever. So yeah, we're just.
I've done that a few times.
Oh my goodness, it was a mess, but she's been great. So my dad lives here. He moved here 12 years ago after my mom passed, and he lives in Branson with my stepmom, and they're just enjoying their retired life. And I have a brother that is 11 years older than me and a sister that's 9 years older than me. So
Baby.
yeah, baby. Yep. So yeah, that's about it. There's not too much to us, but we're simple, we're happy, and we love it here in Missouri. So
What makes you a hot mess?
oh my God, my life period. I just trying to figure everything out, being a mom, working full time, coming home, trying to, luckily Jake's not in sports right now, but when the girls were playing softball, like my life was chaos. We'd have something literally every night, and it's calmed down a little bit, but we're just trying to figure it out. We got a new normal we're working on, and yeah, we're just trying to figure out life right now, and it's been a little crazy, but we're getting there.
I love it. Lauren, tell us your hot mess story.
All right. Well, I'm Lauren, and I am 36. I live here in Springfield with my husband, Matt, and we have 4 kids. So I have a son from my first marriage. He is 9.5, a 4th grader. And then together we have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a almost 1-year-old. And we have 3 dogs. We just adopted a chocolate lab puppy last week.
Oh
so
my gosh.
That was a choice. That was kind of my Christmas gift to Matt. So I don't know if he really feels like it was a gift right now, but she's great. She's going to be a good addition to the family. I do not work. I worked full time up until May, and so now I just stay home with my kids, and I do a lot with our school, and I'm a member of our PTA, so that keeps me pretty busy. Just doing the whole full time mom thing right now, which with 4 is a full time job. So my hot mess story, I actually want to tell everyone about meeting my husband, because
I love it.
I know Jordan knows this story. I'm not sure if Amanda knows, but because I feel like it's one of those things where I felt like I was a complete hot mess in life, and there was a silver lining. So
I love it.
So I met my husband Matt in 2016, and it was on the 4th of July, which happens to be his birthday. He's several years younger than me, and it was his 25th birthday. And so I didn't know him. And earlier in the day, I'd been dating this guy for probably about 6 months that I went to high school with. And he was, let's just say I was way more into him than he was into me. And so it was one of those things.
This was the bat guy.
Yeah, this is the bat guy.
Okay.
And so, who's married now, by the way? But at the time,
I never liked him. I never met him.
No.
I never liked him.
No, he didn't meet anybody. I mean, obviously we went to high school together, so all my friends from high school knew him. But he was just not really into me at all, I don't think. But I was into him for whatever reason. So I was going through a divorce, had been separated for a while, was dating him kind of casually. Obviously, he never met my son. He knew who my family was, but I don't think he ever really came over or anything. So he wants to go to lunch on the 4th of July. There's one bar open downtown. So we go to lunch, and we have a couple beers, and he basically just breaks things off with me. He's like, it's just not working, and I think you're more serious than me. I don't want kids. You have a kid. I don't want to get married. Like I said, he's married now, so interesting. But so anyways, he breaks things off with me.
Dodged a bullet.
Yeah, I definitely did. Not better at all, because I won the lottery out of this deal. But anyways, so I go home, and I'm just fuck him. His loss. Trying to talk myself up. Go home. Didn't have my son that day, so I just was day drinking since I'd started at the bar. I did have a roommate that lived with me at the time, and I was like, hey, do you want to go back down to the bar it's the only bar open, and just keep drinking? Mm-hmm. Sure. So we go down there. We're sitting outside on the sidewalk, just people watching and getting completely plastered. And this guy walks up with his dog. And I'm not really a dog person, but my roommate was. And so he walks up with his dog and is like, hey, would you guys mind holding my dog while I run inside and get a beer? I'm like, sure. So we hold this dog on her leash, and he goes inside to get a beer, comes back out. We end up spending the rest of the evening talking. Find out we have tons of stuff in common. We both went to this crazy little art school for our first year of college, even though it was 5 years apart, but it's a school that nobody goes to in Kansas City, and just had a lot of things in common. So I ended up walking home with him that evening, which was maybe not the safest decision, but it worked out. And we've been together ever since. So it was one of those things where I was this drunk, like had just been broken up with, was approaching 30 at the time, just felt like I was never going to find love again. Didn't really even want to. And my husband walked into the picture,
awesome.
and I love him, and he's great. And he's my perfect other half. So, obviously we've had 3 kids since then, and the dogs. So we still have the dog.
He is better. Yeah.
He's great.
I approve of Matt. Like the other one was useless.
Not so much.
I approved, although I will say I was also a fan of husband number 1.
Yeah.
I
And
approved
he's a
of
good
both
guy.
husbands. They were both great. Yeah.
My first husband's still in the picture. Like, we co-parent. He's great.
That's good.
But yeah, the bat guy, not so much.
That guy sucked.
Bad
Yeah.
guy.
He studied bats.
That's
It
what
was
he
very
did.
weird.
That was like his job.
Which would
Well,
make
he
you
was-
think
he was
he'd
a
be more
wildlife-
interesting than he
You
really
would
is.
think, but it kind of. Yeah, he's weird.
Yeah, he was a
people don't-
wildlife
people-
biologist.
Yeah, bats though. I mean, there's so many other wildlife,
animals,
cooler
right?
animals that you could go with.
I know.
Yeah. Now, if he turned out to be a really great guy, we'd be like, that's the coolest job in the
We
world.
would.
It's true.
But now he's just
That's how
free.
things work.
So.
Yeah, we don't like him.
All right. Jordan, do you want to
Yeah.
tell us your hot mess?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah. So my whole life is a hot mess, and that's okay. I'm here for it. So let's see. I am 37 years old and married to the best hubby in the whole wide world. He's the one that set up this whole podcast. So Thor, you're fabulous. Good job. Thank you. So we don't have any kids. I am a dog mom. Proud, crazy dog mom. But I think the story I wanted to share with you guys was like my childhood trauma that I inflicted on myself. So that's going to be my hot mess story. Because I have to preface this with like, I really did. I grew up in this idyllic childhood. This perfect middle class, never wanted for anything, had the most loving parents, still married today. They're amazing people, and they've always supported me, done everything I've ever asked, given me anything I wanted. But I always felt like the black sheep of the family. My brother and sister were 5 and 6 years older than me, and they were like the cheerleader and the football star and just like the popular kids and just, did everything. Had these big groups of friends, were in all kinds of sports. My sister's like the perfect straight A kid, went straight into my same profession as my parents, nursing, and then my brother went and followed in suit later on. And so, they're just all like aligned, and then I'm like this dark sheep theater kid. I didn't have any sports I enjoyed, not a sports person, but I found theater in high school, and that was like my thing. Like I was going to do theater, and I was like that kid. And then I was the kid who was like, no backup school for me. I'm going to this ridiculously expensive fine arts academy. I'm going to be a stage manager for live events, and that's going to be my career.
I can totally see you doing that.
Yeah, and so I did. And for a year, I went to a very expensive, fancy fine arts school in St. Louis, and my parents paid for it because they're amazing people. I hated it. I hated it so much. And what I've learned now that I'm older and can kind of look back on like what went wrong there, what I really loved about theater was, that sense of community and like all the weird kids come together and make art and support each other, right? Just like what we're doing here, like supporting each other. There, it was so cutthroat and everybody was out for everything and everybody was like competing for the best shows and for the best roles. And it was miserable. So came home after a year and just kind of floated through my early 20s living with my parents, not knowing what I wanted to be when I grew up. And that was not a great feeling for me because I had these siblings who are 5 and 6 years older than me, like living their lives. And my brother has like a million different college degrees. He's traveled. He's got all these great life experiences. My sister has 3 amazing babies and just is like the perfect child. And so and I was just like the black sheep, right? So eventually, after my husband and I got engaged about 11 years ago and realized, oh, one of us should get like health insurance.
That's a thing we don't think of when we're young.
No, we don't. But
Totally don't.
When we got engaged, I'll give it to myself. Like I did think of it. I was like, someone should have health insurance. So I started working at a large employer in Springfield and just worked my way up the corporate ladder. And so that's why I introduced myself as the corporate stooge at the very beginning of this podcast, because I am. I lovingly embrace the title. I love my job now. Put myself through school, got my bachelor's, got my master's. It was the very last semester, the last class of my master's degree. I'm sitting there in the class, and everyone's presenting their capstone projects. And one girl's talking about first-generation college students and how many more there are out there than we think. And I start kind of thinking about my own family because my parents both went to college, and it was always just an expected thing. My brother and sister both went to college right out of high school. Like, I was the screw-up that didn't do it right? I'm sitting there thinking about it, and I'm like, holy shit. My parents are actually both first-generation college students. My mom's mom never went to school. Her dad was in the military. He never went to school. Mm-hmm. My dad's dad was a Nabisco cookie salesman, which is adorable and so sweet. Mm-hmm. We have all the Nabisco memorabilia, but he didn't go to college. Mm-hmm. His mom never worked. Like, they are both first-generation college students, and they never told us. And so I asked him, I was like, why didn't you tell me? Because I feel like a total screw-up. And, and they were like, we just didn't want you to ever feel like you had to live up to anything. We wanted you to be your own person. I don't know. I became this perfectionist in my 20s because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And so I had to be perfect at everything. Like, whatever career I went into, whatever activity I was doing, I had to throw so many hours into it, and just became a perfectionist. It's how I became a workaholic, right? So now in my late 30s, I'm trying so hard to unwind some of that and be like, you know what? I'm not as big of a screw up as I thought I was. And I'm actually really proud of my college degrees now. And I'm really proud of where I'm at in my corporate life. And I'm really proud of my family and the home I've built. And so I'm trying really hard to kind of unwind some of that perfectionism, because now it comes through in different ways where it's like, oh, you work 50, 60 hours a week, but then you have to come home and have this perfectly clean house, and you can't have any dirty laundry, and your refrigerator has to look perfect, and you have to have fancy meals on the table every night.
Don't come to my house.
I'm thinking, it's hard, right? So, I mean, like, why do we feel like we have to be perfect and live in this perfectionist society? So I actually did a little bit of research. Whenever I was like, okay, we're going to start this podcast. Why do we feel like we have to be perfect? And so I found this article from Business Matters magazine, and they had some really good statistics. I'll link to it in the show notes, and I'll put it on our Facebook group. We have a Facebook group already, you guys. It's really exciting. The 2 people that listen to this podcast should join it.
Which will be like, what, our husbands?
Okay, do you think they're going to listen?
Mine probably will not.
No, mine also will not. Unless it's about like mortgage.
My daughter might. My daughter might.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
My mom will listen.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I know your mom's
My mom will
listen,
and she'll be super excited for us because she's like the best mom in the world. My husband will not listen, probably because he listened to our test run we did.
Oh, no.
And he was like, are you just going to complain about me the whole time? Are you just going to bash your husbands? Is that what this podcast is? And I was like, no, but this is just how women talk. And he's like, they just bash their husbands? And I was like, a little bit.
I feel like you've only said nice things about him.
Right?
Yes.
I know, but I don't know if he'll listen or not. We'll see.
That's funny.
Okay, so we've got Cameron listening, and your mom's going to listen. My mom
And
doesn't know what a
KK's gonna
podcast
listen.
is, so she will not listen.
We'll introduce her to it. We'll download Kathy.
She will be
podcast.
so.
My stepmom might. She was like all excited about it for us.
I mean, my mom
She's like, woohoo.
will get her phone like on Spanish somehow. I can't figure out how to get it off Spanish. So I doubt.
You know who else will totally listen? Our mutual best buddy, Carolyn, will totally listen and support us.
Hi, Carolyn.
Hey, Carolyn. You know who else? I'll get Casey.
Oh,
Casey
yeah.
Casey.
Oh, and to honor
Best
Carolyn, so Hot Mess is one of my like coined terms that I use all the time. Mm-hmm. And so Carolyn bought me this cute little plaque like 2 or 3 Christmases ago, like a long time ago, I feel like. But it was God bless this hot mess. So I put it in our little center of our table for us.
Aww.
So Carolyn's here with us for our podcast.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Isn't that fun?
Love it.
She's going to be on her way to Florida, so.
She's not thinking of us right now.
No, she's not.
Did all of our shout outs.
Yeah,
that's right.
I did. That's awesome.
So I found this article in Business Matters magazine. And I think it's actually the UK version, but we'll post it in our Facebook and our show notes. But it said that they looked at a study that surveyed young adults aged 16 to 34, and 75% of the women surveyed felt the pressure to be perfect, compared to 62% of male respondents who felt the need to be perfect. And I just want to say, I still think 62 is really high.
I think
For
it's
men,
high
yeah.
too.
I think that is high.
75% of young women and 62% of young men feel like they have to be perfect in the society. And so then it's like, okay, well, perfect how? So the areas the women respondents felt the pressure to be most perfect were as a parent, being attractive, and meeting family expectations. Which, I mean, come on, that's like all of us feel that all the time,
right.
don't we?
Absolutely.
Check.
Yep.
And then a third of adults surveyed say that they feel the most pressure at work.
Absolutely.
So why? Why do we feel like this? Why do we feel like we have to be perfect? Why can't we just live our chaotic lives?
I would love to know what the percentages were before social media existed.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Because I feel like, especially like being attractive and being a parent, maybe not so much meeting family expectations because that happens outside of social media, but like being a parent, like my kids don't care if I'm a perfect parent. It's other parents, right that are judging me. And the same thing for being attractive. Like my husband will find me attractive if I'm wearing like a trash bag. Not that I do that, but he does. Like I'm in my like grandma pajamas, and he's like, "You look great," you know. And but it's social media. It's other people.
My husband always tells me, because I'll be like, "Well, if we're going out, let me go put on some makeup. You don't want to go out with me looking like this, right?" And he's always like, "I think you're gorgeous. You don't wear makeup for me. You wear makeup for yourself and other women."
That's right.
And I think that's 100% true. He says that to me all the time. And I think it's like the most true thing.
And you know, like with Instagram and Facebook and all of those out there now, and all the stupid filters that these kids use to make themselves look better. You know, my daughters, I'm like, don't put that shit on. I don't care. I don't want to see that. I want to see you. I want to see your face.
Right.
I don't care what filter you use.
The bold glamour filter on TikTok.
Yes.
Oh, is that a thing?
Oh, it's a huge thing.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Lauren, we're going to have to do it. Before you leave, we're going to do it because it is like ridiculous. Like it makes you look like a freaking supermodel.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's really hard to tell. It doesn't look like a real filter. So then you have these influencers out here using the bold glamour
and making
filter.
people think that's what they look like.
Yes. And then you've got all these young girls thinking, oh, I have to spend all this money on all this expensive makeup and all this time in front of a mirror because I have to look like that and I'm not as pretty as that.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So one of my favorite things TikTok has done, I'm a TikTok fan in case anyone hadn't noticed.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite things TikTok has done, though, is a lot of influencers now will use the bold glamour filter and be like, this is not real, and take it off, and you see how they look like a normal
person.
Woman.
Oh,
yeah.
Like that.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I've loved that part of TikTok, but I do just wonder, like, how many people out there are using these random filters like this? And
right.
You know, that makes me so glad that I grew up in the non-social media era.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you guys all said how old you are. I didn't. I'm 47. So, you know, Gen X, you know, woohoo. You know, we did not have all that. Mm-hmm. By God, if anybody had cameras when we were growing up, holy shit.
I know.
Like literally, like it's just insane. So I'm glad I didn't grow up with all that stuff. And that's why I try to tell, you know, my girls and Jacob now, obviously, and my son, it's like, get off your phone.
Yeah.
Get off the phone. If you want to take a picture, that's fine. Don't put that damn filter on it because you're gorgeous the way you are.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see pictures of me when I was 16, 17 years old with a stupid filter on. That's all me, baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I bet, yes. I'm so glad I didn't grow up in social media. It's great.
I think we probably got social media. I know I got a Facebook when I got a college email. So when I was 18. Mm-hmm. And because at the time you had to have a college email.
I remember that. Yeah, you had to have a college email to be on Facebook.
And I
had
think
one too.
I actually had my college email before my college even was on Facebook because it was such a small, like, independent, private college. But
and do you remember, though, like how toxic Facebook was back in the day? Like when it started, it was just a way to rate girls.
Yes.
Yes. I feel like, you know, at least we were technically adults when we got it, right? And that was pre-Instagram. But now, like, you know, kids have Facebooks. My kids don't.
My girls do.
But
they
they're
hate
adults.
it.
They're also adults.
And they hate it. They're like never on it. Now, Jacob, he's 13. And I'm just like, I don't even want you to have a phone. I don't want you. I hate YouTube. I'm just going to be that mom.
Oh my God, I hate YouTube.
I hate YouTube. He's on it all the time. If he's not on that, he's on his Xbox playing games, which I'd rather him play games than watch the crap that is on YouTube. In all honesty,
I would rather my 9-year-old play Minecraft than watch people play Minecraft.
Yes. Why?
What is that? Why do they do that?
Why?
And it would be one thing if they were like learning tricks or like
they're just literally
cheats or whatever, but that's not it. It's
I'll
just
walk in and Jake's watching someone play it and playing on his phone. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm talking to so and so. why don't you play your game? What are you doing?
Yeah, okay. My 5-year-old nephew, he's 5, and he is obsessed with the Plants vs. Zombies game.
Uh-huh.
Probably because his mom and I both love it. So it's not like a normal one I feel like kids are typically into, but he is. But he doesn't play Plants vs. Zombies.
He watches it.
He watches it.
Right.
I mean, he does play it too, but he watches it on YouTube. And there's like a Google, like the video Google, you know, my mom has one at her house. And he will just stand there, standing on top of a dining room table with his face in that Google video, watching people play Plants vs. Zombies for like as long as you will let him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
insanity.
It is crazy.
It is. How are they building like creativity? And I
They're
don't
not.
know. Yeah.
No.
And that's the sad thing, you know. It's just there's no imagination. I can't say there is imagination because they're just sitting there watching it.
Right.
They're not making it up.
But that's the stuff. I mean, they see whatever's out there and whatever's on YouTube, and then they see that as societal norms, right?
Yeah.
So, like, my 8-year-old niece watches makeup tutorials,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it becomes, oh, I wonder. And my sister did like the best thing with her. She let her start doing her own makeup as early as she wanted to, like 4 or 5, like whenever she got interested in it. And let her wear whatever makeup she wanted. And it looked terrible, right? It looked like a 4-year-old did their makeup, right? And she'd wear it around the house. But then now, by the time she's 8 years old, she does make her makeup better than I do mine, right? And she watches all these tutorials, and she's fantastic at it. But I just wonder, like, you know, that's the societal pressure that
Absolutely.
she's catching, watching, to feel the need to look as good as the girls on the videos. And of course, my sister does an amazing job. My mom and all of us do a good job of, like, you can wear makeup if you want to. You can not wear makeup. You're pretty no matter what. You know,
Right.
and makeup's just a fun thing. It has nothing to do with our appearance. You know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to kind of build those, but
Yeah.
still, you can't get them away.
You
from
can't
it.
get them away from it. But
your nieces are in dance. And
Yes.
there's a makeup component to that too, because when I grew up, I had nail polish, like sparkly nail polish, and I had like probably not even real makeup, like fake makeup that you pretended to put on your face.
Yes.
But until I was in dance in 4th grade, like I didn't even own any makeup. And I remember showing up to my first recital with no makeup because I didn't know that I was supposed to. And my mom wore like mascara. My mom was not a makeup person. So I show up to my first recital and every other girl has like the red lipstick on and like blush and tons of makeup, you know, for the stage purpose. And I didn't even have anything to put on. And I cried because I felt like I like didn't know what I was supposed to be doing and I felt out of place. And some of the other girls put makeup on me. But I think there's also like in some sports or in some, you know, some activities like dance, like cheer, they're also taught to make themselves up. And, you know, and it's for stage presence to an extent. But I just remember that made me feel so bad. And still to this day, like, I sometimes wear makeup.
I was going to say, I don't think I actually owned any
Not a
good
person.
makeup until I was probably 42.
Right.
You know, I never had to wear it until I lost my eyebrows. And then, you know, we got to do that every freaking day.
Love that about you, though, Lauren,
It's
that
like
you are
not my
like a
thing.
fresh-faced girl
Yeah.
and don't wear any makeup. Because I am the exact opposite. Like,
You love makeup.
I love my makeup. I wear it for me. Like Thor says, I wear it for myself and other women. I don't leave the house without my makeup because it makes me feel confident.
Right.
You know, and I like feeling confident in who I am. And I'm such a big believer in supporting women in whatever decision they make.
Yes.
Yes.
And I love wearing makeup. And so and it's like a me thing, you know. I take the 10 minutes every morning and do my makeup, and it's just me. I have an entire accessory room, changing room, vanity room, whatever you want to call it, that my husband's built for me, that houses all my makeup and my jewelry and my accessories and my shoes, and I pick out what I'm going to wear that day. And I love it. It's just like this little me piece of luxury that I've built for myself that I don't want to let go of.
And it makes you happy.
Yeah.
And it makes me happy.
Yeah.
You're a glam girl.
I am a
like,
glam
you
girl.
You love the girly stuff, which is great.
Yeah.
And there's
really
nothing
do.
wrong with that as long as it's for you.
Yeah. But I love that we're such close friends and you're the exact opposite of me.
I have been wearing makeup. Like, you can see it on my face right now, I'm sure, because it's sparkly, clearly.
Love it.
But it's new. This is a new thing. Like, I went to my corporate office job many days with no makeup on at all. And it wasn't like I just sat behind a computer. Like I had in-person meetings and would be dressed nice, but nothing on my face.
So what made you decide to make that change, to start wearing makeup?
I found a brand I really like.
Yeah.
It's like good for the skin too.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know. I got into the brand and now I only use their products.
Don't gatekeep it. What's the brand?
I was just sitting here thinking the same thing. I'm like, I need to know what this is.
So it's called Jones Road Beauty. It's Bobbi Brown's newish company. So Bobbi Brown is like a well-known makeup artist, and she's had Bobbi Brown makeup brand for a long time. But she actually left her own brand, left Bobbi Brown, and now has this stuff called Jones Road. And kind of their staple product is called Miracle Balm, and it's a balm, so it's hard, and you just rub it on. And there's one that's untinted, or there's probably 10 different shades now too, so you can use it as a blush, you can use it all over, but it's extremely moisturizing, so you can use it in place of moisturizer. You can, like, the untinted, you can sleep in it. I mean, it's clean. So I really like that. I have a bunch of the different colors, and then I've gone ahead and now I have the mascara and the eye stuff and the foundation. And
it was a gateway drug.
It was. But I've moved all of my, like, everything else I've thrown away. So
Bobbi Brown and Jones Road, also very large TikTok presence.
So I guess I need to get on TikTok.
You need to get on TikTok. Now, be prepared that it will suck a couple hours of your life away a night. Oh, gosh. That's why I can only do it like Friday nights or Saturday.
Yeah, I really, like, it really will. I will, like, just get sucked into it and spend hours TikToking. But it's also really relaxing for me. It takes my mind off of whatever work stress or whatever I have going on.
It absolutely is.
But I am trying really hard to, like, pull myself out of that. So I now have a new rule that when I like to spend, like, an hour in bed as, like, my wind down time before I actually go to sleep. And so the first 20 minutes can be TikTok. And then after that, I have to switch to, like, reading a book. Or talking to my husband.
Oh, God, my husband would be asleep.
My husband would be out in the living room watching his own TV.
Well, he's, like, over there TikToking, too.
Yep.
So.
Well, yeah, our kids would be doing that, too. TikToking in the living room watching TV. That's funny.
So, Jordan, you talked about how, with your Hot Mess Express story, how really that was all made up in your head, right?
It was.
Like, I mean, you were not the black sheep. I don't know that your parents ever saw you that way.
No, and actually, I think I'm pretty sure I'm my dad's favorite child. Like, for the record,
I think
there are three of
favorite.
us, but, like, I know I'm his favorite. Like, I know I am. And they're so supportive. And my mom and I have, like, the world's best relationship. It really was totally in my head.
Yeah. And I like, why do we do that to ourselves? Because I feel the same way. So I talked about meeting my husband, and I was on the cusp of turning 30, which now at 36 feels really young.
Wouldn't it be nice?
But, yeah. But I was like, I had a kid. I had a 2-year-old, and I had already been married, so I was divorced. And, like, who would want to marry me, or who would even want to date me? Like, I was just, like, over it, And here I met this guy who to this day will say he married up. Yeah. He felt like I was this huge catch. And he was a single dude, like, living in an apartment with a dog. Like, he had no responsibilities, but yet he married up. So we do this to ourselves.
Absolutely.
And so we talk about social media. We talk about these, like, external influences. But I think a lot of it's in our head.
It is.
And that's so silly because, like, we're great. I mean, we are great. Like, all three of us sitting at this table, and I'm sure every woman listening to this podcast, all two of them, Casey,
and
guy,
Casey,
and Casey. But all of our friends, all these women, it's all in our heads. Like, we're great. And I think anyone looking at us from the outside would say so. Like, to me, Jordan, you are so successful. And, like, I admire that you put yourself through college and didn't have debt doing it.
Yes.
That's right. Debt-free, paid for it out of my pocket. That was really hard.
Not something I can say. But I owe a lot of money in student loans that I'm a stay-at-home mom for. So, but, I have always thought you were so successful. So it's all, it's just stuff that we come up with we come up with these own narratives in our heads.
We do. When you think about, like, who said the laundry has to be done? You have to do every ounce of laundry in order to feel like your house is clean. And there was an article, I'll have to go find it for you guys. We'll have to do, like, an entire episode of laundry because I have lots of opinions about laundry. but I read somewhere that I cannot cite a source right now, but it's not my own, that laundry is a cycle. You always are going to have dirty laundry.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're wearing laundry, right? And so you're wearing clothes, your family's wearing clothes, you're going to use towels. Like, it's a cycle. We are not meant to have every ounce of laundry done in the house. So why every Saturday does every woman in America feel like they have to do laundry all day Saturday? It's this societal pressure or just this internal thing we've done to ourselves. Because let me tell you, do our husbands actually care if that laundry sits there in that pile? Hell no.
No.
As long as they have clean clothes.
Clean clothes.
And like mine will do his own laundry.
Same.
And I have screwed that up myself by telling him he can't do the laundry just because I don't like the way he folds towels. And I have screwed that up for myself.
You really shot yourself in the
Yeah.
foot there.
This is one of my perfectionism unwinding things I am working on, you guys. So he folds his towels like a double fold. I like a triple fold. I think it's nicer. I think it's cleaner. It's
Triple
prettier.
fold and a roll.
Yep.
That's even nicer.
Yeah.
But he does just a big double fold.
Okay.
He will not change how he folds towels. But he has no problem doing the laundry. So I have
So
to
let
let
him
it go.
do it.
Yeah, it's a me thing.
Yeah.
I have made this up in my head. I have to let it go and let him do it and just use the double fold.
I've done the same
It's fine.
thing. I mean, I'm just like, don't touch the laundry. I'll do it. And then I'm like, God, I have to do laundry again.
Yes, and
Why did
you
I do that to myself?
My husband will do any laundry except for mine because he's worried he'll like shrink a sweater because he probably has done that a few times. But he will tell you that for his 13th birthday, his mom taught him how to do laundry. That was her gift.
My husband completely can do laundry. He can do all of it. I just am like, just let me do it. Let me do it. I'll just do it. And again, like you said, you sit there and you're like, God, why did I do this to myself? I mean, they're completely capable of doing it all.
And is anyone going to really look in your cabinet and see how that towel's folded?
No,
no.
we're the only ones looking at them.
Yep.
That's the thing. It's like, it's my own insanity. Like,
Right.
I have to unwind this myself.
Yeah. It's hard, though. I think that we're wired that way. I think as women, you know, I really think it's a generation thing. You know, I grew up watching my grandma dote on my grandpa. My grandpa didn't even know how to get himself a glass of iced tea. My grandma was sick, and we found out, you know, she had cancer and all this stuff, and he didn't even know how to get up and get himself a glass of tea. I mean, that is terrible that we as women, and you know what? My mom watched it, my aunt watched it, and I've watched it, and we do it all. It's what we see.
Yeah, both of my grandparents are the same way. My mom's mom worked her whole life and still took care of her husband all the time instead of letting him like be his own person and take care of himself.
Yeah.
And my dad's mom never even worked. She just took care of her husband, right?
Yeah.
But like it always amazes me, my mom's mom, who worked so hard and in my opinion probably harder than her husband was working, still felt like she had to come home and do everything for him.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
My parents are that way. My parents, and they're in their 70s. They're early 70s. So, you know, older probably than some parents. But that's how my dad is. I mean, he married my mom with the expectation that he would support her. She would raise the kids and take care of the house. And they're growing up, there was a hot meal, not hamburger helper, like a full meal on the table every single night. And he would mow. He'd do outside type stuff. But just the other day, I had to tell him where the trash bags were. Not even kidding. Because my mom had her hip replaced. Like, she couldn't take the trash out. And she had a walker. And I had to tell him where the trash bags were. And he's 72 years old.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, I mean, and there are couples where that works. Like, if your mom didn't work, if your mom didn't work and she enjoyed cooking and liked taking care of the house and the kid, you know what I mean? Like for some couples that works. And I'm all for do whatever works for your family.
Right.
And it just amazes me, these women who work full-time jobs or more than their husbands and then still come home and then still 90% of the housework is on them.
Yeah.
Because
my
the
mom
husbands
did.
don't see it.
She worked. I mean, not when I was a kid, but then she went to work because she just wanted the extra income. And she still was expected to do all of that. Like, my dad doesn't know how to vacuum.
Even if you stay home with the kids, like, that's also a full-time job.
Because yes, it is.
Yes,
by
it
the
is,
way,
isn't it, Lauren?
If you have kids and you're going to work, you're paying somebody else a
To watch
full-time
those
job
kids.
to
Right.
watch
Yeah.
those kids for you.
Yep.
So if you stay home, you have a full-time job watching those kids.
Absolutely.
So that husband can still help with the
That's
laundry
very
and the
true.
trash. And
You
the
know,
cooking,
and I will say that my husband is not like that. Like, I'll be frantically, God, I need to get up and do the kitchen. I need to clean the kitchen. I need to do this. And he's like, oh my God, woman, sit down.
Mine does the same thing.
You don't need to be doing that shit. Just sit down and it'll wait.
Mine does the exact same thing. He's like, why are you being crazy right now? Can you please just sit on the couch and watch a show with me? Like, he's very anxious. He's like, who's going to look at that? Like, who's going to see what you're doing? Yeah. And I always drive him crazy because I'm always cleaning out some sort of pantry or cabinet or something. And he was always like, I don't know where anything goes anymore because you're cleaning this stuff out all the time. And no one sees it except for you. Yeah. Just sit down. Yeah. So, men are supportive. Like, husbands can absolutely be supportive. And I know that all three of us are very lucky to have incredibly supportive families and supportive husbands. But it's just something we put on ourselves.
It is. Yeah.
Unnecessarily.
Very much. It's crazy.
We're going to break the cycle, ladies.
We have to.
Through this podcast, we're going to fix ourselves. It's going to be fantastic.
And we're going to help women fix themselves. We've got to.
Yep.
Oh. What's that sound? That's the Hot Mess Express coming into the station.
Woo, woo.
So we're excited for the segment. No matter how messy you think your life is, there's always somebody out there that's 10 times worse than you are. And Jordan found a great story of somebody that is, he's got a problem.
Probably on TikTok.
Probably. Was that where you found it? Probably. So there was this Florida man that was attempting to cross the Atlantic Ocean in a man-made hamster wheel. Now he is facing federal charges after it took the Coast Guard 5 days to bring him ashore. What the hell was he thinking?
I love everything about this.
Like, and here's the kicker. It's not the first time he's done this.
And that makes it so much better.
Yeah. This was, let's see. The criminal complaint was filed in Miami. The Coast Guard spotted Reza Ray Bellucci some 70 miles off the coast of Tybee Island in Georgia in August while making preparations for Hurricane Franklin. Bellucci told the Coast Guard crew that he was attempting to ride the hydropod vessel to England and that he had a Florida registration, which he was unable to locate for them. Imagine that.
But a Florida registration for what?
For what?
The hamster
wheel?
The
hamster wheel?
Yeah, it says it was on board.
Yeah.
What? Where?
But where was it?
And who gave him that registration?
Wheel. Does he got like a glove box built into one of the rungs on the wheel? God. Officers said the vessel was afloat as a result of wiring and buoys and determined that Bellucci was conducting a manifestly unsafe voyage. When they attempted to get him to leave the vessel, Bellucci told them he had a knife and threatened to harm himself. Coast Guard agent Michael Perez wrote in the complaint. The next day, Bellucci threatened to blow himself up when the Coast Guard approached him again about leaving the vessel. When officers saw Bellucci holding wires, they contacted the U.S. Navy Explosives Ordnance Disposal Unit to help them determine the blast radius of the bomb.
So this is going well.
Yeah, this is going great for him.
So is there is a bomb, or they just thought there might be a bomb because of the wires?
Because of the wiring.
Well, he threatened to blow himself up.
Yeah,
so he made a bomb threat.
Yeah, threatened to blow himself up.
Got it.
So, and he was holding wires when they saw him.
On his homemade giant hamster wheel in the ocean.
Yeah. So on August 28th, the Coast Guard cutters Campbell and Valiant arrived on the scene to offer support, and they launched a small boat to deliver food and water and give Bellucci predictions of the hurricane. They again ordered him off the vessel, and he refused. He did tell them, though, that the bomb wasn't real. Okay. Well, that's great. You know.
I feel better.
Finally, on August 29th, the Coast Guard successfully removed Bellucci from the vessel, and on September 1st, he was brought to the Coast Guard base in Miami Beach. Bellucci attempted a voyage in a similar homemade vessel in 2014. In 2015, he served as captain of the port order for the Coast Guard that applied to any subsequent voyages.
So they were like, hey, buddy, don't do it again.
Don't do it again.
But he did it.
But he did it again. He failed to comply with that order and was interdicted in a homemade vessel in 2016. So 2014, 2016, and now 2023, he did it again.
2021
wait.
too.
But yeah, and then he attempted another voyage in 2021, and the Coast Guard intervened as well.
So this is his fourth time.
You'd think that he would learn.
I love it. This is amazing.
So is he like an engineer that is like trying to invent something, or
I
do we
think
know?
it's the like the record kind of thing. Like I'm gonna ride this across the Atlantic Ocean because I think he's going in this story. I think
England.
it says he's
He
going,
was
to,
going
England.
to England. Yeah, that's what he was planning on
Also,
doing.
why from Georgia?
Georgia.
So, like, did you know, trivia, that the state closest to the coast of Africa is actually Maine? So even though it's so far north, because it sticks out so far east, it's actually the closest
I can believe
to
that.
the coast of Africa.
Yeah.
So why would you do it from like the southeastern coast? I just feel like you would travel.
I'm guessing
further
because that's
north.
where he lived. I don't know that a whole lot of thought went into this plan.
Probably
I love
not
it.
the other 3 times too. There wasn't a whole lot of thought.
I love everything about the story. And I do want to cite our source because I saw this like when we first started looking up stories for like Hot Mess Express stories. I saw this everywhere. But the story that we read here came from NBC2news.com. And I just love it. I love everything about it. At least, no matter how big of a hot mess you are and no matter how messed up you feel in life, at least you are not riding a homemade hamster wheel
To England.
across the Atlantic to England and making up bomb threats.
At least we hope not.
At least we're hoping not. Yeah.
So I just think everybody can go into their week believing that they're better than that. And
Wait, does the guy do we think he is from Florida since the vessel was registered in Florida? Because I
don't
feel like
know.
this is a very Florida story.
oh, it's definitely a Florida man story. It said, didn't it?
Oh, it
A
said a Florida man.
That was the very beginning of the story. It was Florida man.
And
Okay.
but he was 70 miles off the coast of Tybee Island.
Right, which is in
So-
Georgia.
So coming from, why in the hell would he go that way?
Well, we don't actually know our geography. I feel like we should point out that we don't actually know what we're talking about. So maybe that was closer to England.
I
and
do
don't
know that Georgia is on the complete other side of Florida. So, I mean, I don't know.
no, it's not. It's north.
Is it
It's
north?
north of Florida.
This is going really well.
This is not going well.
No, you're talking about you're talking about what is next to Florida? Not Louisiana. Not
Alabama?
Is it Alabama? Alabama.
that's what
I think
I'm
it's
thinking.
Alabama,
Mississippi
Mississippi,
and Georgia.
Louisiana, Texas. Yeah, like if you're going from east to west,
Okay.
Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas.
I was just trying to figure. I mean, if he's coming from this, but
Arizona.
he's still going this way.
Okay.
Wouldn't you want to go that way?
Here's what we're going to do.
We're gonna cut
We're
this
gonna-
trash out.
Oh, no, this is staying in. This is fantastic because I want everyone to have a chance to fact check Lauren and her perceived geography because I don't know if it's right or not. So we're going to post the
Oh,
story.
it's definitely right.
Okay, I'm sure it is. We're going to post this story in our Facebook group, and everybody can tell us why Tybee Island. Like, why would you
try to get to England?
and why a hamster wheel? Like, if
I don't
anyone
think
has
anybody
that
can answer that.
Let me know.
Is
Yeah.
it inflatable? I just have so many
many
questions. I need to
questions.
see a picture of it. I
Okay.
think.
Our wonderful 2 friends that are going to listen to this podcast, if you have a Hot Mess Express story for us or feedback on any of the citations I'm sure we got wrong or Lauren's geography or anything else, you can email us at hotmessroundtable@gmail.com, which is very exciting. We have an official email account up and running.
Ooh, that is awesome.
You can also post in our Facebook group, but please be kind to us.
Yes.
Be nice to us on the internet. Be nice to us in the email too. And we're not looking at any dick pictures. We're not opening them. We're not looking at them. It's not happening.
Nope.
We will have our husbands censor that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. So be nice to us. We're here to support each other and just support everybody else out there that's just trying to live their lives and just needs an outlet. We're just here for a laugh, you guys. Can
Yeah.
laugh at us.
Yes.
With us.
With us, not at us. Yeah.
Well, you can laugh at us as long as you're nice about it.
But
Yeah.
my geography's right. For sure.
You know what? I'll bet you somebody
the
will
internet will
totally
tell
tell.
The internet's totally going to tell us.
They're totally going to fact check us on this
Fine.
one.
Okay. Everybody have a fabulous week.
Happy New Year. Happy
Yeah.
2024.
2024.
This is a great start.
This is a
This
good
is
start.
a good start.
This is a great resolution for us. We're going to totally do this. We're going to rock it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And we're going to like solve all of our problems through this podcast. It's going to be fantastic. This is like group therapy.
Oh, 100%. Oh, did you mention we might have guest speakers as well?
Oh, we're totally going to
Totally
have,
gonna have
guest
guest
speakers. We're going to
speakers.
just like cycle through all of our friends and they're going to come on. It's going to be fantastic. Do you know
Yes.
how good Casey would be on this podcast?
Oh, he's coming. I'm going
He's
to make
coming.
him coming.
What's he the subject matter expert for?
Just everything. Like he's just
Life,
fabulous.
just in general.
Just being amazing.
Yeah.
Being
It's
fun to be
true.
around.
He's
Yes.
fantastic.
Building culture.
Building.
I can turn anything into corporate lingo for you. Building culture.
You're supposed to be stopping that. Remember, you're
Yeah,
supposed to be
we're
winding down
breaking
the
the
work.
cycle.
We're breaking the perfectionist cycle. No, I'm a proud corporate stooge. I'm willing to be a corporate stooge. I'm just not willing to be a perfect corporate stooge anymore.
We're not supposed to be perfect. We're not supposed to be perfect.
We're supposed to be hot mess.
Yes.
Have a good week, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.